how a reserve study is completed. There's essentially 5 steps. Really, I could boil this down to about 4, but that final one's fairly important as well. So the beginning, let's say you're interested in doing a reserve study. Kind of a pre to this list would be to get an estimate, right? How much is a reserve study going to cost? We can certainly provide a proposal for that. Any company that does reserve studies should be able to offer you a proposal on how much it's going to cost and provide their scope of what's included in their study. Okay, so once that study has been approved, we're going to do to gather any information that we can on the community, any historical information, things that's been done in the past, maybe even a list of items that the board would like to see done, right? Some improvements they would like to see done in the next few years. We're going to try to help those along with this study, as well as review governing documents or amendments to governing documents to see what exactly the association is responsible to maintain. A very key component for a reserve study is a site inspection. Site inspection is going to be that determination, that evaluation of your current condition in your community. Is it deteriorating at a rate that is common for that material, or does it need to be expedited in repairs? That site inspection, we're also going to measure the amount, the quantity of all your components to incorporate these unit costs. Now, to back up a little bit, reserve studies, there's 3 types of reserve studies. I'm talking about a full reserve study with a site inspection. If you've had a reserve study before, you could go back to the company who did it originally and get it updated. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. There's also a update with a site inspection and an update without a site inspection, and I'll dive into those. But this is a full reserve study, a full scope. The financial analysis is the step 3. We've talked about that recently, but essentially this is your estimated cost of repairs, determine how often, when and how often these repairs are going to be needed, and compare your estimated expenses to your reserve revenue. And if that does not create positive or adequate cash flow, certainly develop those funding alternatives as part of that financial analysis. Step 4 is very important. I think we do a great job of this here. Developing this draft report. As part of the study, you're going to get a narrative report talking about the condition of your community, as well as the funding alternatives outlined in the narrative. That's also going to include the spreadsheets and the financial analysis, generally in an appendix. But we want to review that with the board. We're going to make sure the board completely understands the reserve study, how to use it, and what went into it, right? We want to make sure and get any comments or feedback from the board of what was included. Is there anything that needs to change? And then once all those comments are addressed, we'll finalize that report and seal it for your use.